Hello, this is Brennan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network, and welcome back to another Lumen Stock Car Invitational race. And we are here back at the Daytona International Speedway for the first of the two LSCI Duels. And these are the qualifying races that will set the lineup for the Lumen 500, which will be later this week on Thursday. This race is being recorded on Tuesday, so 2 days before the race. And for a lot of these drivers, this is their last chance to get into the race. A lot on the line, especially for some of the drivers on the smaller teams. I am joined once again in the booth by Anthony McClure. And Anthony,
Hey,
if you are one of the drivers that has to go through the duels in order to make the race, like what's your best strategy to try and make sure that you get in?
um, my strategy, it's always a good strategy, at the plates is always stay at the back to stay out of trouble. Maybe pit with the leaders when they pit. Eventually, maybe cycle up to the front at the end. Hope everything goes right, and then maybe you'll be racing for uh the Lumen in the Lumen 500 later this week. So that would be my strategy personally.
Well, you can cut one of those things out of the equation because these are 20 lap races. There are no pit stops in the duels.
Ah,
So pit stops will not be a factor. They're going to be, unless we get an accident, where they're going to be in one big pack the entire way. So, yeah, here is how you get into the Lumen 500. The 55 of Michael Harvin, who you see starting in first, is already in the race no matter what happens. He has qualified on pole for the race, so it really doesn't matter what he does. He's just out here for funsies. Um, if you exclude him out of the equation, you have to finish in the top 15 cars in order to get in. If you fail to finish inside the top 15 cars, you could take an owner point provisional or a past champions provisional. If no one can take the past champions provisional, then it'll go to a qualifying provisional. But basically, top 15, that's about where you need to be. If Harvin is outside the top 15, if he's inside the top 15, then it's the top 16 that you're aiming for. And we've seen some crazy cut line battles in the past. Definitely. Last year's duels were incredible. And Anthony, do you prescribe to the notion that one of the duels is calm and one of them is crazy?
oh yes, totally. There's always that one duel that is like, oh, nothing happens for like 60 laps, and then there's one that just like insanity happens. There's the big one, there's a flip, there's a hard hit or something. It always seems to happen when we go to Daytona.
Yeah, and also these cars are going to be going blazing fast. If you watch the single car qualifying, which as of the day that I'm recording this is up right now, they were going 200 miles an hour at the fastest with no tow whatsoever. So that goes to show similar conditions here tonight as well. So these guys are going to be flying around this place even faster than before. We've had some drivers concerned about the faster speeds, but the LSCI officials are going to let them go through with it. If there ends up being a problem, they'll slow them down. But for now, we're going to be seeing a lot of fast speeds here tonight, and that's going to be another draw for this race for sure. Here is your starting lineup for duel number one. It's the number 55 of Michael Harvin, who turned a lap of 200.848 miles an hour to claim the pole. He is in the Lumen 500. Alongside him is the one car of Kevin DuPont, who is also in the Lumen 500, although where he is starting and what provisional he's taking is yet to be determined. He is our most recent past champion, so no matter what happens, if push comes to shove, he can fall back on that provisional. Row number two, Adrian Fearson in the 27, one of the cars that was low down in owner points that managed to get a really good qualifying time to where if all the past champions manage to qualify into the race and all three of them are in this duel, uh, then she can take that provisional if she is not able to get in through normal means. And alongside her is the 19 of Jake Sidney. Row number 3 is the 13 of Damon Kirby in the same situation as Adrian Pearson, and the 16 of Corbin Taps, who won his duel last year. That was duel number 2. This year he's in duel number 1. He is quite the super speedway racer. He's also won in the amateur series at Daytona before, and he also won the last true super speedway we went to in Talladega. Then row number 4 is the 45 of James Harvin and the 8 car of Darren Walker. There was a very interesting shakedown of the lineup this year where a lot of teams ended up getting all their cars in the same duel. So you'll see all 4 of the Motor Racing Ventures cars in here, all 4 of the Checkered Flag Racing cars, and Duel 2 will have even more of that. So that is something to keep in mind. We might see a lot of teamwork here in these duels to try and help some of the struggling cars on that team get up a little further in the field. Then we've got the 81 of Jack Gino, one of the others, eligible for the Past Champions Provisional, and the 40 car of Adrian Wheeler. Then it's the 6 of Holly Martin and the 50 of Jacob Lopez, who was our last past champion. Then it's the number 70 of Andrew Kreider, the hometown driver and team, alongside the 77 of JT Boyd. Cheryl Simmons in the 33, who's pulled off some miracles to get that car into the show in the past. Maybe she's lined up for another one. And alongside her is the number 9 of Lori Jackson. Then it's the 2 car of Rhea Whitcomb and the 15 of Montana Sherman, the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger, and the 35 of Rebecca Raymond. Lulu Connie in the number 42 and the 58 of Joanna Clark. And rounding out the field is the 5 car of Ellie Adams. And in general, a lot of these cars that are in the back of the field, especially these last 4, maybe 5 rows, are really going to want to try and get their way through here because obviously they don't have the qualifying time to fall back on if that ends up being a criteria that ends up being fallen back on. And a lot of them are low down in owner points as well. So those are the cars that are going to have to race up through the field the most.
Yeah, they're going to need luck to fall their way if they want to get into the show.
Now, thankfully, there for them, they only have to get around to 15th or 16th, so it's a little more generous than it was in the past. Last year, it was top 12. The year before, it was top 10. There are less owner point spots to fall back on, so this could be dangerous for a lot of the higher up cars and owner points that are struggling for speed as well. So that puts another wrench into this, although the ratings that they now have this year kind of balance it out. But who knows? We might see a lot of those cars in the back end up at the front by the end, and we could have some surprising misses from the race as a result.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off the back straightaway here at the Daytona International Speedway. Make sure everybody rolls off with no mechanical issues off the start, and they don't. Anthony, who do you think is going to win duel number 1?
Well, it's Daytona, so I have no idea who's gonna win. I'm just gonna throw out a name. Let me look at the sheet. Maybe Jacob Lopez. Why not? We haven't seen Lopez win in a while.
Lopez won earlier this year at COTA, so...
Well, I didn't watch it, so I haven't personally.
Lopez is starting in 11th, so we'll have to see. He is one of the 4 Motor Racing Ventures cars in the field for this duel. It will be Michael Harvin and Kevin DuPont leading them to the green flag. And for the first time this Speed Weeks, we're going to see a pack of cars take the green. We are underway at Daytona. Coming out of turn number 4, Michael Harvin and his brother James Harvin are going to look to go 1-2. They're 3 by 3 behind the leader already. Right off the first lap, And as per usual in these duels, we'll keep our ticker at around where the cutoff is, so you guys can watch that as it develops when we're not focusing on it. But 3x3 throughout the pack, Jack Gino has now drafted up to Michael Harvin. We'll see if he tries to potentially make a move on the 55 car. And he's peeking down low into the middle lane.
Does he ever on the bottom?
He's going to get down there, and they're going to be side by side for the lead for the first time tonight. Gino now going to swerve to the middle. He's got Lopez and Boyd. Lopez and Boyd down on the inside. That is our first lead change of the day. That's already more lead changes than we had in Duel 1 last year. If you remember, Martin Swain led every lap of that duel race. But Gino has been able to get out front here on lap number 2. Boyd and Martin down on the inside with Rhea Wickham and Montana Sherman. Those are two of the cars we have to keep an eye on. Cheryl Simmons is also down there with them. All of these cars are looking to try and get into a transfer spot because they're low down in the owner points. Oh, Boyd got squirrely at the front, but they're going to keep it straight.
Almost made a huge mistake.
Lots of the MRV cars now up on the top side as Gino continues to lead. Boyd is going to pull into second. Lap number 4, Gino's just going to cut down in front of Boyd. That was a close moment there.
Oh, man.
Rhea Wickham now appearing in the top 10, and Anthony, I'm sure you like seeing that because that's your amateur series driver driving the 2 car.
Yeah, I don't... She's kind of struggling this year, so I hope she gets into the Lumen 500, makes up for maybe a lackluster year, and makes her a bit more happy to be in a huge race like the Lumen 500, and gets her motivated in trying to do better in maybe her final year as an amateur driver. We're not sure.
Yeah, Riverbend Racing has not had the year that they've been looking for in amateurs, but she doesn't have to worry about amateurs right now because she's in a cup car. Corbin Taps just cut her off. Big move there from the 16. And he's going to get down to the bottom here behind Jake Sidney in the number 19, who had a pretty impressive qualifying run, and now he's looking pretty good in the race as well. Let's check in on the back. A couple of these cars kind of trailing a little bit. Lulu Connie, who struggled to get into this race ever since we started having PQs. Rebecca Raymond, who struggled to be getting in any races this year. Ellie Adams is trailing them. She started in last and is still in last. So some work needing to be done for those drivers back there. But now the top 2 pulling away with Gino and Martin. And they're 3 wide behind them, with Taps leading the inside with Montana Sherman behind in what could potentially be his final Lumen 500.
Martin was looking to the inside on the 88 there for a second, but couldn't make the move.
She might be able to make the move into 3 here if she gets enough momentum, but it's kind of hard to build up that momentum when there's no help behind.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a lot of help, so that's not working out.
Oh, they're bottling up back here. The 2 car, the 45, the 50, and the 55. They keep it straight, but that was a bit of a dicey moment right there. Andrew Kreider showed up in the top 10. You know, the crowd's going to go wild if he takes the lead.
Oh, yeah, totally. I thought it was meant to be full off for a second with Whitcomb and a couple other drivers there, but they did not.
Yeah, they kept it clean so far. 7 laps in. We didn't see an accident in the first duel last year until 3 laps to go. Martin tried to get down with her teammate, and Taps is able to get underneath. Which lane is Boyd going to go into? He's going to go into the bottom lane. And the 6 car's falling back on the outside.
Boyd's been able to keep up on the outside line, so I think that outside line is coming in a little bit.
Yeah, you got 3 cars up there. Yeah. The 6, the 19, and the 33, and they're all making it work. Shout out to Cheryl Simmons, by the way, again.
Oh, here comes Taps.
Taps down to the inside of Gino with help from the 77 of JT Boyd. That's your Rookie of the Year battle from last year down on the inside lane. Both of them sophomores now. Boyd's going to look to the inside with help from Montana Sherman and the 70 of Andrew Kreider. He's going to make it 3 wide. Gino, though, looks like he's going to get pushed clear by the 6, and he's going to get back out in front.
I think Boyd still has beef with Taps after all this time.
mean, they haven't had any
He was
incidents per se, but they have been rivals for a while, so...
He was
You
like,
know-
I'm not helping Taps.
How about Montana Sherman? I mean, he's
Still got it.
He's having an impressive run here. He's up to third. That car wasn't very fast in qualifying, but clearly it's a lot
Yeah, I
better in
watched
race
that.
pace. And having a guy with as much experience as Sherman behind the wheel is definitely a good thing here for Checkered Flag Racing. He's going to try and help the fellow Ford up on the
Oh.
top as Boyd by himself tries to make the move. Sherman, though,
think he's got
tries to
enough
get down in the
momentum.
line, but Kreider is there. And it looks like JT Boyd is going to take the lead here at Daytona. Gino still trying to fight back on the outside with help from Sherman, but they're about to go 3 wide as Jake Sidney leaves Kreider hanging in the middle. JT Boyd is going to lead that lap, I believe. Yes, he did. And now they're side by side out in front between the 81 and the 77.
Boyd trying to hold off a bunch of Fords behind him.
Yeah, there is quite a few Fords, and the Fords kind of struggled in qualifying, but again, evidently they've got race pace because there's 2 of them down on the inside, there's 2 of them in the middle, there's 2 of them in the outside, and they're getting very close between the 15 and
Look
the
at
70 there.
Sidney.
Jake Sidney and Damon Kirby, a pair of rookies down on the inside line, trying to make things work on the bottom. They're 3x3 throughout the entire pack now. And if you're stuck out back right now, you gotta hope that it clears out a little bit because there's nowhere for you to go.
10 laps to go.
We are already halfway through this thing. Yeah, this thing's flown by.
Yeah.
Let's look at our average race pace. It's almost 202 miles an hour.
It's been that quick.
Sidney now puts himself out in front next to the 77 of JT Boyd. We're going to track the speed going into turn 3, 205, 206. Maybe going to get to 207, not quite.
Not
But
quite.
these guys are absolutely flying around this thing. And here comes Damon Kirby, who was the first one to put up a 200-mile-an-hour lap last Thursday. He's going to get that car out into the lead.
That lap was legendary.
It absolutely was. And he is now trying to get himself out in front.
Yeah, it's been a very good speed week so far for number 13. Lucky number 13, if you will.
Let's check in on our cutoff battle. You can see it on the ticker there. The 50 was the last one in last time by. The 35, the 42, and a few of the Motor Racing Ventures cars are back here. The 65, the 9, and the 5 also need to pick up the pace if they want to try and get into the race. The 9 might be able to take a points provisional, but I know everybody else back there can't. But here is Damon Kirby, and he is really showing himself to have a very fast car here, both in the draft and out of it. And this is great. This is a great thing for Damon Kirby. He's been struggling this season. He's way down there in the points. This could be a point of turnaround for him. And look who's coming back on the inside lane. It's Rhea Whitcomb up to 4th. Adrian Fearson has also showed up, Joanna Clark, and there's a lot of drivers that need to get into the race that are just now getting down to the inside. I wonder if some of them, like Lulu Connie and Tamarin Bellinger, were staying back there on purpose.
Maybe.
Trying to time the cycle right, perhaps. Kevin DuPont and Jake Sidney are now side by side for 2nd place. And they're just all packed up like sardines in this pack as we're getting to 7 laps to go. Kreider now cuts in front of the 2 car.
If someone makes a mistake, it could be catastrophic.
It could take out the whole field as Kreider now trying to get to the bottom to go for 2nd on the 1 of Kevin DuPont. Rhea Whitcomb, Adrian Fearson trying to push him. Cheryl Simmons up the middle with Adrian Wheeler. But still out in front is Damon Kirby. There's more momentum up top. But here comes Whitcomb. She's barely going to get the nose down. Aggressive move by the 2 of Whitcomb to try and get to 2nd.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if she's going to...
out the entire field.
She's going to lose some momentum down the front straight away, so all of that was for nothing. But she's still holding her spot. She's in a great position to make the race.
Yeah, she's still hanging on.
Right now, Rebecca Raymond has the final spot. Or no, Corbin Taps does, actually, because Michael Harvin is in the top 15 right now. And now, Andrew Kreider is drafting off of Damon Kirby. Are we going to see the 70 go to the lead here at Daytona?
You know, those fans want him at the lead.
Look who's battling for third. Cheryl Simmons is going to
Cheryl
get down to the
Simmons.
inside, and you cannot count her out. This is her first cup race back from injury. It does not matter what the odds are. It seems like she always finds herself up here in these duels. We've got 5 laps to go this time by. Kirby is still leading with Kreider in second, and it's Simmons and DuPont side by side for third.
How is that thing going?
Well, this chassis is a Blake Ever Motorsports chassis, so it's a bit faster than they're used to, so I mean, I guess it makes sense that she's staying up here in the pack, but it's still amazing what she's been able to do.
It's incredible.
All the momentum up top, though. We got a bunch of MRV cars lined up on the outside again. Harvin, though, is going to move high, maybe trying to drop back as so not to wreck his race car.
Seems like the 3 wide has calmed down a bit. Everybody decided that was dumb.
It did for a little bit. Now top 3 are single file as DuPont has gotten himself in this line, and he's wasting no time
DuPont
trying to get to the inside of Andrew Kreider. And he's going to get the nose underneath. Back in the cutoff, Harvin is in the top 15, but he is dropping spots. We've got the 35, the 15, the 42, the 65, all of those cars around the cutoff here. I have no idea which one of them is going to end up getting into the show. It could be any one of them.
Smart move by Sherman.
Yeah, Sherman getting down to the bottom to kind of protect the spot as these guys behind him are racing. That was a good move there.
Look at Simmons up to third.
Simmons is holding this top 5 spot. She's got Corbin Taps behind her. Corbin Taps looks like he's going to try and make it 3 wide, though. And that he is. He's bringing JT Boyd and Holly Martin with him. Oh, that was a close one there. The 55 and the 18 almost got together, or 81 rather. Jack Gino. But once again, this duel's been completely clean as we're coming to 2 laps to go, and Damon Kirby continues to lead this field. Will he be able to hold on? The 42 got loose in the back. Lulu Connie had to gather it up, and she's going to lose some spots.
She's running out of time. She's got about 2 laps to go to make anything happen, and she hasn't been able to for this entire race.
Will DuPont try and make a move on the 13 of Damon Kirby? No points given out for the winner of this race, but there is prize money. Here comes the 16 and the 77 down to the inside. Aggressive move by the 77 of Boyd. He's going to try and get the push from Holly Martin, who is now pushing her former car on the inside lane. Jack Gino trying to also get up there and help. But coming in the white flag, they're 3x3 once again. But Damon Kirby is out in front. Boyd, though, is clearing the pack, and he might have a shot at this win. He's gotten up to the front before. We'll see if he can do it again. White flag in the air here in duel number 1. Can the 13 car hold on?
Boyd is following the 13.
Oh,
that was a
gap
mistake.
open for the 6
Big
of Martin.
mistake.
And that's going to help out Kirby a little bit more because they're still side by side. Meanwhile, back in the transfer spot, the 27, the 50, the 35. Joanna Clark right now is in. Rebecca Raymond trying to get in. Tamarin Bellinger also on the inside, who got in at the last minute last year. But here we go. Kirby's been able to hold them all off. Holly Martin's going to have one more chance to get by him. Coming out of turn number 4, Martin's going to look down to the inside, and she's got the push.
Might have room. She doesn't have the push, though.
Kirby cut him off, and Damon Kirby is going to win duel number 1. And for the transfer, it looks like the last one to claim a spot was Jacob Lopez.
Wow.
Rebecca Raymond is below the cutoff, so she is almost certainly going to miss the race. Tamarin Bellinger, Lulu Connie, Ellie Adams, all probably out of the race as well. Adrienne Fearson can fall back on her qualifying time if necessary. And in fact, all 3 of the past champions were able to get in. And that is a key moment because now that opens it up for drivers like Adrienne Fearson, who could not get in through racing in. Oh, what is going on here on the pace lap? The 2 car and the 1 car have both spun out, but
dearie me.
The 2 car, Rhea Wickham, finished in 9th, so she's in the race. Cheryl Simmons has finished 7th, so she is in the race. Montana Sherman has made the race.
Montana.
Joanna Clark has made the race. So those are, your drivers that had to execute here in this duel, and they did.
Those are a couple happy people.
Absolutely. Great to see Montana Sherman make the field. P11 here in what will more than certainly be his final Lumen 500. Cheryl Simmons, I don't imagine. I can't believe that she keeps doing this. P7, and she got her way up there pretty quickly. Joanna Clark just barely snuck in, finishing P14. But yeah, it's all Damon Kirby here in terms of the win. And how impressive is this for Damon Kirby in checkered flag racing?
His weekend just continues to get better after being the first driver to set 200 lap time. He gets the win in duel number 1. I'm sure that's going to boost his confidence as he tries to improve this season. I mean, he's still got plenty of races to improve from 31st. Maybe not fight for a title, but maybe fight for a win instead of being at the back of the pack.
Yeah,
Just
you continue. I'm sorry.
sorry, no, it's fine. Just overall, very very happy for Damon Kirby.
And who did you see other than Kirby that impressed you here in this race that could potentially be a threat for the main event?
Gino led a couple laps. I was pretty impressed with that. JT Boyd was very competitive as well. Um, Cheryl Simmons may be a stretch, but she might be able to compete for the main event. Just a very impressive performance from her in that 33 machine.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's gonna not only put her in the field, that's gonna give her a pretty good starting spot. I believe. We'll see where the starting spots end up after everything is all said and done. But she's probably gonna be starting, or she will be starting in the top half of the field. So, yeah. Um,
Hmm.
that's great for Double Eagle Racing the 33, Montana Sherman, Joanna Clark, all those drivers that had to get in. But of course, we've got on the other end, we've got heartbreak for Rebecca Raymond, Tamarin Bellinger, Lulu Connie again for the 3rd year in a row is going to miss this race. Ellie Adams really wasn't competitive at all, is going to miss the race. And then you've got drivers like Laurie Jackson and Darren Walker who are probably going to have to rely on points provisionals.
Yeah, totally. It's just very unfortunate that they just didn't really do much. It's not like a heartbreaking, oh, you were in, now you're out moment. They just didn't have a good enough car
I
to
just
be
realized
competitive.
something. Jacob
What?
Lopez and Rebecca Raymond tied for the last transfer
Oh
spot.
my goodness.
So actually, upon further review, we should probably check the replay to see if the 35 actually did beat Lopez back to the line. And if that is the case, that changes a lot of things. Let's
This
go
is
back and
crazy.
see. We'll go back and see right here live if the game got it right at the checkered flag. Ooh, that's hard to
Oh, I don't
call.
think
That's hard
I
to
don't
call.
know. That is hard to call.
I mean, if it's too close to call, we'll just trust the game, but
I don't think they got it right.
I'm trying to see what the best angle would be here.
Hmm.
Maybe the right side of the 20. No. Um,
Probably the chase camera.
yeah, chase cam is probably best here. Rear chase. Maybe from the 70 car. Well, there's the 50 right there, and the 35. Actually, upon further review from that, it does look like the 50 did beat the 35 to the line. Just barely, if you look at where their
Yeah,
spoilers are.
barely.
So that
Oof.
is you mentioned that's heartbreaking for them not being up there. I think it's a little bit more than that for Rebecca Raymond, considering she needed maybe an inch and she would have gotten into the field.
Yeah, just another unfortunate DNQ for the 35.
Yeah, and this season's been full of those, but I feel like this one was possibly this was her best chance out of those, and just barely missed out. Well, that is going to do it for duel number 1. And of course, we have drivers here that are hanging in the balance and waiting for the results of duel number 2, specifically the 8 and the 9, and potentially the 27 to maybe get a little bit better starting spot. Even though I'm pretty sure the 27 is going to make the race, falling back on qualifying time, but that's not always going. That's not guaranteed to be the case. But I do believe she's probably going to get that spot. But there's still drivers that are kind of waiting for the events of duel number 2 to see if they can fall back on an owner's provisional. But that's going to do it for duel number 1. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back with duel number 2. Welcome back to the Lumen Stock Car Invitational Duels here at Daytona. We are about to start duel number 2, as we've got our other 23 cars trying to make the race lined up on the backstretch at Daytona. Anthony, the duel 1 was pretty calm in terms of incidents, but there was definitely a lot of shuffling throughout the field. What does duel 1 tell you about how duel 2 is going to play out?
Oh, well, if we believe to the theory that one duel is calm and the other is crazy, duel 2 might be crazy. We're not sure about that, so we'll see if that is the case, if the theory stands or not.
And we've got a whole different group of cars, obviously, now. We have a lot of teams, once again, all in one duel. Most of the Toyotas actually ended up in this one, including all 4 of the Pacific Racing cars and all 4 of the Columbia Motorsports cars. And especially the Pacific cars are definitely in need of good runs here in the duels. Do we think all the Toyotas are going to try and group up and work together?
I wouldn't be shocked if they did, especially the Pacific teammates trying to help each other out after some rough races, I guess you could say. Uh, and I wouldn't be shocked that the Columbia Motorsports cars also try to help.
Yeah, and here is your starting lineup for duel number 2. Charlie McCarron is going to be starting second in the main event. She is basically this race's Michael Harvin. So she's just out here for the fun of it, and also to get, data of how the car runs in a pack. Tim Berry alongside her in the number 11. We know that he's always a threat. We'll see what he can do here in this dual race. Row number 2, last year's Lumen 500 champion, the 88 of Billy Smith. And interestingly enough, kind of how like we had all 3 past champions of the series in the last duel, we have all of the previous LSCI winners at Daytona in this duel as well. Smith, of course, being the most recent one. Tyler Landry starts alongside him. Row number 3, it's last year's pole sitter, Vinny Schulz, alongside the 57 of Shauna Everett. And then it's the 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck and the 20 car of Martin Swain. And then in row number 5, we've got Lakin Herndon in the 39 and Latanya Gray in the number 14. Definitely watch out for this car. She has no owner points. She had a pretty solid qualifying run, but I wouldn't say it's enough to get her into the race, especially considering where what happened to the 27 last time. So she's probably going to have to race her way in. Then we've got the 29 of JB Chanot and the 01 of Isabella Fitzmaurice. Same situation as Latanya Gray for that car, although this one is a Patriot Racing car, and all the Patriot Racing cars are in this duel. So a little bit higher expectations for her. Then it's the 99 car of Akia Tajima and the 92 of Kate Summers, 2 of our fan favorites. The 52 of Ashley Blake and the 78 of JC Kreider, 2 drivers who absolutely need to finish in that top transfer spot. Then we've got the 3 of George Bryan and the 12 of Gianni McJasmina. Then it's the 18 of Zach Dearman and the 24 of Cooper Spur, the 32 of Trevor Stewart and the 36 of Haley Taps. And rounding out the field is the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway. Karina is actually locked into the race on points. So is the 18. So is the 11. So they are definitely racing for better starting spots. But if they can get in through, if they can't get in through that way, then they can just take a points provisional. Also, because the 85 qualified on the front row, I forgot to mention this before, but that means that the 6th place car in owner points is now guaranteed a spot, which I believe is Jack Gino, who raced in the last duel and already raced his way in. So we'll have to see how far down that owner point spot ends up falling.
I feel like there are a lot of more open drivers in this duel than the other one.
Yeah, in terms of drivers that I wouldn't call them open drivers in this because we don't really have charters, but there are drivers that are lower down in the owner standings looking for a good run here today in order to get their way into the field because they can't rely on their owner points.
I get what you mean.
Okay.
Drivers, to your cars.
Oops, I missed the start.
Drivers, to your cars.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the field will roll off the back straightaway for the second and final time tonight here at Daytona. Anthony, your pick to win last race, Jacob Lopez, ended up 16th. Who do you think is going to win this race?
Maybe I should go for maybe a better pick. I'm gonna go with the old man Martin Swain in the 20. I'm gonna say he's gonna shock everybody after taking a. I don't know if he was in the. I don't know if he attempted the Lumen 500 last year. Did he?
Last year he did, and he led every lap in his duel. So
Okay,
Martin Swain actually is a pretty good pick.
Not a shocking pick, but maybe he'll do it again this time. So
His teammate already got through last duel, Rhea Wickham. Swain going to try and join her here. Charlie McCarron and Tim Berry will lead them to the green. Once again, we are underway here in duel number 2 at Daytona. And already Billy Smith trying to make it 3 wide for the lead off the initial start, but he's not going to get underneath.
Not a smart move.
Swain was able to get under 3 wide, though, and that's going to push the 66 of Landry out to dry right off the start of this thing. Smith's going to try it again. He is going to try it again.
Billy is being very aggressive to start this one off. That's going to help Callaway.
McCarron and Barry are still going to be first and second here, but the run is coming down the bottom with those 3 Chevys lined up on the inside. Billy Smith, Latanya Gray, Isabella Fitzmaurice. Further back here on lap number 1, you mentioned Haley Taps was making some moves, and she's already made up a few spots since that initial start, but there's still a long ways to go for those drivers in the back. Barry now running the high side with Latanya Gray behind. Do not hook the 11 car, Latanya. That was a close moment there. We had a lot of close moments in the last duel, but they kept it completely clean. We'll see if these guys are going to try and do the same. Barry made his way back down to the bottom, though.
Not with Tanya in the race. That's like difficult.
I guess so. She is known for being aggressive. And in this case, she kind of has to be aggressive in order to try and get her way in. She has a very simple motive here. But McCarron has kept herself at the front so far here over the first few laps. And we saw Michael Harvin do the same, but once he got shuffled out, he never really got back up to the front. Maybe kind of stopped pushing hard once that happened. So we'll see if that's the case here. Here come the Columbia cars. Akiya Tajima, Lakin Herndon, JB Chanot, all on the inside lane here. They're going to line up now on the inside as they are now behind Tim Berry. Barry is going to get the lead here, but here comes Tajima on the inside to make it 3 wide, and the Columbia train is going to try and make some progress here on the bottom lane. They've got their 4th car, Kobe Hollenbeck, back there as well.
This train is working very well.
Yeah, they've got Tyler Landry in the middle of that, but other than that, it's all Columbia Motorsports down on the bottom. And Tajima is going to get pushed up front by the 39 of Herndon. They are 3 by 3 up here at the front. They're going to go 4 wide for the lead.
Oh my goodness.
You do not want to see that this early in the race. They're still 4 wide. Herndon. This is going to be trouble. They're banging doors on the inside. They're still keeping it going. Someone's gonna have to give. There is no way
Nobody.
that they're gonna survive. They're still 4 wide. I cannot believe they made it this long, but it's only gonna be a matter of time. There's just not room on the track for it. They're beating
Oh my
doors again.
goodness.
And I gotta
Almost got
wonder if maybe the
turned.
cooler temperatures are giving them a little more control of their cars and lessening the chances of them crashing, but I think it's just gonna be a matter of time before they do.
They can't go a full lap doing this. Especially in turn 3, but they're somehow making it work.
85 trying to let off there. The 88 is right behind as she's gonna fall in line, and somehow they've managed to escape.
That was amazing.
What an incredible display of driving from these guys, but I would not want to see them do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. That was some ballsy driving there by Herndon, but he made it work, and now he's leading.
Yeah, looking back at the transfer spot, I've moved the ticker accordingly now. So right now, George Bryan is in that spot in the 3 car, ahead of the 41 of Karina Willis Callaway. Bryan can take an owner point provisional if he does not make it in through the race. So we'll have to see how that ends up for him. In the back, a lot of drivers that should not be in the back right now. Trevor Stewart, Haley Taps, Ashley Blake, JC Kreider, and Jami McJasmine all out back. They need to start making some moves. How about Isabella Fitzmaurice in the middle? She's done a good job here for the Patriot Racing car.
Yeah, she's keeping up with the front of the pack.
Yeah, she's doing what she needs to do in the middle with LaTanya Gray and Martin Swain.
All three of them are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, Vinnie Scholes now moves in line down there, the 62, trying to keep herself above the transfer spot. And it's the Columbia Motorsports teammates going side by side for the lead. They might end up going 3 wide for the lead between the Columbia cars now as Herndon moves up, and now that allows JB Chanot to get down to the bottom, and we got a Columbia car leading each lane now.
Oh my goodness, Columbia dominance right now.
That
didn't last long. Fitzmaurice
shoved the 99 back out in front. She is now ahead of Tim Berry. That middle lane starting to lose some steam, and Chanot is going to move up to second. She tried to clear the 01 though, but wasn't clear.
A little bit of side drafting maybe.
29 now going back to the bottom as they continue to go 3 wide for third position. These Columbia cars are showing their might here early in the duel in this first half. Right now, back at the transfer, Zach Dearman, the 62 and 92 right now around that transfer spot. And the 32 is also there. The 12 is falling back. This is not a good start for Pacific Racing, who could be looking at the absolute nightmare of all 4 cars missing the race, although unlikely considering where the 62 is in owner points. She might be high enough to take a provisional, but that's not a guarantee. And Isabella Fitzmaurice is drafting up to the top 2 now.
Fitzmaurice.
She is going to try and challenge them for position, peeking her nose to the inside, but doesn't have the momentum.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have enough help on the inside. She's too far away from Landry, but she's fine being in third right now, definitely.
She got under. She's going to try and break the 2 up here. And this 01 car is looking very fast. Bit squirrely in the back as JC Kreider and Jami McJasmine try to avoid losing the draft. The 62 got down to the inside, so that should help her out a little bit. LaTanya Gray and Martin Swain are now starting to drift back towards the transfer spot. Trevor Stewart also trying to follow her teammate on the inside to try and get his way up the grid.
Oh, Fitzmaurice might go for the lead. Not quite.
She's going to get put in the middle between the 11 and the 29.
Whoops, my bad.
She has Landry behind her for help, but there's not many cars in the middle there. LaTanya Gray stuck in the middle. Now Kate Summers is going to move down there. She was able to gain some positions on the outside and is now trying to position herself in the middle lane. Kobe Hollenbeck and Cooper Spur down on the inside. Spur's another one of those drivers that has to have a good finish in the duel, and so far he's doing a good job. But right now, up front, it's still Akira Tajima, this time with Tim Berry behind him. Will Berry be able to get by the 99 car?
Barry was thinking about passing the 99, but didn't have enough of a run. And they don't really have any help right now.
Something I'm noticing a lot is we see these two cars kind of break away from the field, almost like a bit of a tandem draft. And then
Yeah.
third on back go side by side and three wide. But once somebody's able to break off from that pack and draft up to the top two, then it kind of falls apart and they all accordion back into each other.
Yeah, that's a very interesting observation, and I agree with it. It's very weird.
George Bryan has made his way up into the top 10 in the number 3 car. Didn't have the best single car pace, but he's making it work now here in the draft.
Jimmy had a huge run there. Almost thought about taking second. She's trying to take second.
Yeah, getting underneath the 11 of Tim Berry. I want to point out the cutoff is getting absolutely nuts. We have tons of drivers with a lot to lose around that cutoff. We got 3 of the Pacific cars, the 14, the 20, the 36, the 52. Only some of them can get in. There's no way all of them can. So that is a very high stakes area of the pack right now. And they're all grouped up 3 wide. Speaking of 3 wide, look at the move Charlie McCarron just put on the 29 and the 11. And she's going to pass them both and move up into second.
I think McCarron's car is definitely set up for the race compared to Michael Harvin's car in the duel.
I mean, Harvin still finished 6th, so he still did a good job in the duel, but he was not able to stay up front for as long as the 85 has.
Yeah,
And
McCarron
now
might
here
go
she
for the
comes,
lead.
looking for the lead. There is a Honda in Cooper Spur to try and help her, but he's way back here, so she's basically doing it by herself. Meanwhile, Akira Tajima has a teammate behind him in JB Chanot, and they're going to try and draft up onto the outside lane to try and get the 99 clear of the 85.
Looks like that might work out.
No, not yet. Oh, close moment there. The 14 and the 92 got into it, but they keep it straight. Latanya Gray in the last transfer spot right now, trying to make some aggressive moves right now.
Yeah, no, that's not a smart idea, Latanya, but we're not shocked by her aggressiveness, if you will.
6 laps to go here at Daytona. Akira Tajima has been able to hold the lead for quite a few laps now. Here comes Kobe Hollenbeck on the inside, making it 3 wide for second. And a lot of high-stakes racing around the cutoff. The 14, the 20, a lot of fast race cars back here as well. I mean, Martin Swain was one of the faster cars in qualifying, and he might not even make the race as he's falling back in that middle lane. You've got all of the Blake Everett Motorsports cars now trying to form a train on the bottom. I mean, we talked about Pacific Racing potentially having all their cars miss. This is an even bigger possibility for Blake Everett Motorsports. So they are now forming a train, trying to ride that inside and hopefully get themselves into a transfer spot by the end. And one driver this is not looking good for is Jami McJasmina. She's barely keeping up with the pack. It would be a miracle if she makes the race at this point. And McCarron down low is going to try and take the lead from Tajima, but here comes the 01 of Fitzmaurice down to the inside with the shove from Kobe Hollenbeck. She's going to take him 3 wide. And they're going to go 4 wide behind. Are they going to be able to hold it this time?
Oh man, they just shuffled out Tajima.
Oh, they're making contact. Vinny Schulz and Cooper Spur. That was almost it right there. They're trying to sort it back out to 3. I think they might be able to, but they're still making contact. They're spinning out. JB Chanot in front of the pack.
There goes JB.
And look out, they might wreck more here. There's more. There's more crashing in the back.
Oh, never mind.
And they're all racing back. This could be for a transfer spot. Chanot is the only one that spun out.
Wow.
They're still going. They're still going. The caution is not out yet. We're going to have to find out who's in 18th right now. Fitzmaurice going to try and lead them back. I believe right now the cutoff battle is back here. J.C. Kreider currently has it.
J.C. Kreider might be the luckiest person in the universe right now.
Coming back around to take the caution flag. Kreider is currently in the race.
Wow.
But will there be enough time for the race to get back green?
That's probably too late.
I put in a pace minus. But it looks like in terms of crashing, the only one to go all the way around was JB Chanot. And she's 8th in points, so she's probably fine in terms of making the race, but it will affect her starting position dramatically. But right now, Isabella Fitzmaurice is in the best seat in the house. This could be a dual win for her. We'll just have to see if we get enough time for this race to restart. Maybe we get a one-lap shootout at the end. Vinny Schulz currently 2nd, Charlie McCarron 3rd, Kobe Hollenbeck and Akia Tajima round out the top 5. Latanya Gray, Kate Summers, Trevor Stewart, Martin Swain, Ashley Blake, JC Kreider currently in transfer spots. Oh boy. Well, this has definitely been the crazy duel, I think, in comparison of to the last duel. Would you agree, Anthony?
Yeah, a little bit. We've had 4 wide twice. One of them worked. One of
Lights
them
are out on the pace
didn't.
car. We're not
Oh
done.
my goodness. We're going to get a one-lap shootout.
We are going to get a one-lap shootout. Last year in duel number 1, the race ended under caution due to similar circumstances, but this time we're actually going to get our one-lap shootout, and this thing is not decided yet. Welcome back here at Daytona International Speedway, where you've just seen what happened to JB Chanot to bring out our only caution of the duels. We are going to have a one-lap shootout to end duel number 2. Isabella Fitzmaurice in the 3rd Patriot Racing Incorporated car is currently leading the field. Vinny Schulz is in 2nd behind. Charlie McCarron in 3rd. Kobe Hollenbeck, Akia Tajima round out the top 5. And this cutoff battle is going to get crazy because we have a ton of drivers that cannot afford to lose 1 or 2 positions. The last of which being JC Kreider, who currently sits in the 16th position. And that is where your final transfer spot is. Look for the 36, 57, and 12 to try and make some moves to get up there. But they're going to have to pass quite a few cars before they get up there. Pace car is going to pull off for the final time. And we are back racing here at Daytona. And already the 85 is making some aggressive moves.
Well, that was not a smart move, but oh, they're going to get bunched up.
Here comes McCarron to the inside. This is what Fitzmaurice wants to see. Meanwhile, in the back, the 41 is under the 78 for the transfer spot. We'll have to keep an eye on that battle as well, but they're going to go side by side behind Fitzmaurice. That's the best possible thing that could have happened to that 01 car. Karina Willis-Callaway passing cars in the back. The 78 is now out of a transfer spot. The 52 is trying to hold on. McCarron trying to get a shove. They're going to go 3 wide behind. McCarron has a run on the 01, but is there anywhere to go with it? Coming out of turn number 4. Isabella Fitzmaurice is about to win duel number 2, despite the efforts of Charlie McCarron. 3 wide across the line for 3rd. Though. And Ashley Blake is going to get the final transfer spot in the number 52. JC Kreider, once again, 1 lap away from a transfer spot, is out.
Incredible.
And that was because of Karina Willis-Callaway passing a couple cars there at the end to get herself into the race and not have to lose, or not have to use a points provisional. But how about that? Isabella Fitzmaurice wins duel number 2, and she's going to start 4th in the Lumen 500.
Yeah, what a big win for her. Winning this duel, like I said, what an upset by her. Just a shocking victory. Just absolutely happy for her and for her and team and pretty much everybody else, I guess. I'm just stunned for words.
Yeah, in terms of drivers that had to race in, I mean, Fitzmaurice was one of them. Look at that. 0.049 seconds. That was about as close as the last one. But, I mean, drivers that had to race in, Kate Summers, Martin Swain both finished top 10. Cooper Spur finished 7th. Latanya Gray, Trevor Stewart, Ashley Blake. We had quite a few of them manage to get in through this duel. And I'm going to be very curious as to what happens to those drivers that are going to need points provisionals because the 88, the 66, and the 29 are all down there. I imagine all three of them will end up taking some. So that is not what drivers like Laurie Jackson wanted to see from the first duel.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how all those provisionals work out. Man, Landry didn't even make it.
Yeah, drivers I think are going to be out. The 80 or not the 88, the 78 rather of JC Kreider is certainly out. The 12 of Gianni McJasmina is certainly out. The 36 of Haley Taps is certainly out. Shauna Everett probably out as well. So it's looking likely that Blake Everett Motorsports is only going to have one car make the race. In terms of the main team, they did lend out a chassis to Double Eagle Racing. They made the race, so I guess they would functionally be Ashley Blake's teammate. But even then, Ashley Blake only barely made the race. So a lot of struggles for that team. They continue, but yeah, that was a very interesting duel, and it was definitely a lot crazier than the last one. We had two instances of four wide, and one of them resulted in a one-car spin. I'm surprised that we did not get a big pileup out of that.
Yeah, there was just only one spin, and everybody somehow managed to avoid it. Well, it's incredible, honestly. Some great driving there by some veterans and, uh, well, not just veterans, pretty much everybody.
I mean, we had essentially a rookie win the race. So she's not a rookie. She's well, I mean, functionally a rookie. She's only made a few starts, but this is not her first
Yeah.
season running in the Cup Series. She's ran a couple of Cup races before. So she doesn't have the rookie stripes on her car, but she is basically a rookie, and she ended up winning that race. So that goes to show you, Patriot Racing has some very fast cars, and yeah, I'm excited to see what she does in the race, honestly. I mean, McCarran finishing second. I mean, she didn't have to do all that, but she did anyway. And she's shown that that car is
Uh,
fast not only by itself, but also in a pack. Well, any more thoughts on these dual races, Anthony, before we get to our official uh, reveal of who ended up making the Lumen 500?
uh, no, I got pretty much nothing else. Uh, s- just some great racing overall. A lot of three wide, sometimes four wide, especially in this duel. So I'm very excited for the Women 500 when we eventually get to that.
Yeah, Damon Kirby and Isabella Fitzmaurice as our two dual winners. That's definitely a surprise. I mean, both cars were pretty fast in qualifying, but I mean, it's just an interesting pairing of drivers that we're going to be seeing on row 2. Well, we are going to figure out who made the Lumen 500. We have an idea of some of the drivers that didn't make it, but we'll have our official starting lineup here in just a moment. Well, here we are for this year's starting lineup for the Lumen 500, which will be on your screen right now on the right side. Your pole sitter, of course, will be Michael Harvin, and alongside him will be Charlie McCarran. That was determined back in the single car qualifying session. Damon Kirby and Isabella Fitzmaurice will be in row number 2 due to winning their duel. And then in row 3, it will be Holly Martin and Kobe Hollenbeck. Row 4, JT Boyd and Akia Tajima. Row 5, Jack Gino and Tim Barry. Then it will be Corbin Taps and Vinny Scholes, Cheryl Simmons and Cooper Spur, Kevin DuPont and George Bryan, Rhea Wickham and Kate Summers, Adrian Wheeler and Martin Swain, Montana Sherman, Latanya Gray, James Harvin and Zach Dearman, Jake Sidney and Trevor Stewart, Joanna Clark and Laken Herndon, Andrew Kreider and Karina Willis Calloway, Jacob Lopez and Ashley Blake. All of those drivers from rows 2 to 16 got in from racing in through the duels. And then your 5 owner point spots ended up going to JB Chanot, Billy Smith, Tyler Landry, Darren Walker, and Laurie Jackson. And the last provisional spot ended up being a qualifying spot that went to Adrienne Fearson. So as we scroll down our list here of drivers, Ellie Adams did not make the race. Gianni McJasmina did not make the race. Let's see who else. Rebecca Raymond, as we mentioned before, barely did not make the race. Haley Taps didn't make the race either. Lulu Connie, for the third year in a row, is going to end up going home. Tamron Bellinger didn't make the race. JC Kreider also barely missed out on a spot. And who is the one that I'm missing? There is one more. Oh, Shauna Everett is the last DNQ. So that is your Daytona roster. Anthony, are there any surprises on who got in and who didn't?
No, not really.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's nothing too shocking, like maybe we saw in years past. I think the ratings definitely helped with that. I think Shauna Everett was probably the most surprising that we saw because Everett's car was actually pretty fast. She put up a pretty good lap time. I'm gonna have to pull up the sheet real quick on what her lap time was. Oh, that's right. I reset the sheet. So pull up the screenshot then, I guess. I mean, she qualified. She had the 12th fastest time, and she was about 28th in owner point. She was 26th in owner points. She was actually ahead of Adrian Pearson in owner points, but because she was unable to race in, and she was just low enough in owner points to end up DNQing, that car was definitely probably faster than where it finished, but at least in terms of single car speed. And yeah, that was probably the biggest surprise. But most of these other drivers either were really struggling this year or were go or go home cars.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it just happens.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for today's festivities in the duels. We now have our starting lineup for the Lumen 500, which will be 2 days from now on Thursday, June 26th. Not sure when it's going to go up for YouTube, but within 3 days, as per usual. And we're also going to have the amateur race at Daytona tomorrow. So I enjoyed these duels. I always love doing the duels. Thank you, Anthony, for joining me in the booth, and I'm excited to have you back for the main event as well.
Yep.
And on behalf of Anthony McClure, this is Brennan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network signing out.